Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines in the week. I am Jacinta Obiuku. Now this week, crisis hit Labour Party as Ogun chapter sacks Obi's campaign DG, Doyin Okupe. Also, Buhari accuses governors of tampering with local government allocation as Wike replies, asks president to name corporates. And later on the show, FG makes mother tongue compulsory in primary schools. Details in a moment. Stay with us. Now let's begin with politics. The Director General of the Presidential Campaign Council of Labour Party, Doyin Okupe, and 10 others have been dismissed over issues concerning violation of the party's constitution. The chairman of the party in Ogun State, Michael Ashade, who read the press release jointly signed by him and the party secretary, Faishola Michael, said members can no longer tolerate his excesses. They also listed 10 older members of the party that have dismissed and want the national leadership to take appropriate action and replace Director General of the Presidential Campaign Council with Nadina in order to reflect the national character.
In line with Article 9, Section 3 and Subsection 3 of the Labour Party constitutional provision, earlier stated above, we declare that Dr. Doyin Okupe, having failed in the payment of his membership dues for the last 6 months of joining the party, has forfeited his membership of the party and no longer fit and competent to continue to act as the DG of the Presidential Campaign Council.
I just want to start a note of warning because I know now he you know, in his usual, a boisterous manner, he might be thinking this is just a shy play. It is not a shy play. Dr. Doyin Okupe, I want to make it categorically clear to you that you are still to be a member of this party, and every available means, every lawful available means, we will use against you with your cohort. You can never come back to this party. We will not sit down with you because you have disobeyed our constitution.
Well, joining me in the studio for more discussion on this is political analyst Olufemi Lawson. Thank you for coming. And as well via Zoom is President and Founder CF, Segun Awosanya. Thank you, Segun, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let me begin with you. The DG of Labour Party is said to have refused to pay membership fee. Could this allegation against Doyin Okupe and others be true? Are you there, Segun? All right, let me come to you, Olufemi. What do you make?
Yes, I can. I'm having some difficulties in hearing you, please. If you can, I don't know if it's a technical issue from your end. Because
I'm asking if
I was able to hear the news, but I couldn't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. It's better now.
Okay, I'm asking if you think the allegation level against Doyin Okupe and others is true.
Can you take that again, please?
Okay, so I'm saying that the DG of Labour Party has been accused of not paying his membership dues. Do you think this could be true?
Well, the issue with Labour Party and the relationship between the DG of that campaign and as well as the candidate on that platform is that there is actually no, there seems not to be a handshake between the party itself and the people who came in to the party to procure a presidential ticket on that platform. Because if they know the people that were coming in ab initio and they have a chemistry with these people, the issue of non-payment of dues will not be taken as a criminal offense within the party. But their laws are their laws. When you come to Rome, you behave like Romans. And I believe that the party have every right to do whatever it is that it takes, you know, to take up matters that seems to be a violation of their constitution. So it is we from outside, onlookers or observers of the time, may see it as maybe something easy or something small, but for the political party, they may take this as a sign of disregard for the party constitution and a party constitution. So I believe that's one of the reasons why this is happening. And also, majorly, if you look at the pathology of this resentment that you can see in action, it only shows the fact that there had not been any chemistry between the people who came to the platform to use it as a vehicle to get to Aso Rock and the party itself and those who have labored to build that facility. Thank you.
All right, Shego. I also wanted to find out, we actually due for a quick break, but when we come back from this break, okay, all right, I'm told I can still go on. So let me get from you, Mr. Olufemi. So the accusers, or Okupe's accusers, are also threatening legal action if the national president or national chairman, Barrister Aburi, and the presidential candidate, Peter Obi, if they failed to relieve Doyin Okupe as the of his position. What do you make of this thing?
Well, I think one thing that this is exposing to us as Nigerians is actually the role of political parties in our elections. How credible, how powerful, how influential are our political parties when it comes to election. In Nigeria, it looks so much like the candidates and those characters who run the presidential campaign or the governor, as the case may be, are more powerful than the party. As I speak with you tonight, the president of South Africa is waiting for the resolution of the party, ANC, to decide if he will remain as the president of that country or not. That is how a democracy should work. But in this case, somebody can just come from nowhere with a lot of money, come into a political party and become the overlord. And that is what is happening. If there is enough regard for the constitution of the party, if there has been enough regard for the conduct and practices within the party, whatever the party takes as a decision has to be respected. And remember, beyond the issue of non-payment of dues and others, other issues in the last few hours has arisen, including allegations of corruption, against the same DG. And for a party that is coming, to preach a change to the existing order, such party must not come with such kind of luggages that we are beginning to see, unveiling itself in the Labour Party. And that is why this cannot just be treated as an issue that the chairman of the party can sit in Abuja and overrule. It must be thoroughly, dealt with in such a manner that the party will, secure the confidence of Nigerians. It is not enough for somebody to be accused of corruption, for somebody to be accused of not being actively involved in the political party affairs and expect that it doesn't matter because for you it's just about the presidential ambition of Mr. Peter Obi and no other things matter. If the party has not been so organized, if it had not been run in a way that it could live up to the point that Mr. Peter Obi, Doyin Okupe and the likes came on board to use it as a machinery for this election, I don't think it will be available for them to move into. So that is why every position being taken by those who are party leaders have to be respected and duly considered.
All right, Mr. Shegun, let me come to you as well. What do you think is the implication of this on the presidential campaign as well the coming 2023 election?
The implication is simple because the entire country is at the mercy of the electorate. And the electorate that I'm talking about are people in the grassroots. And these are not people who can be easily swayed by media propaganda. These are not people who fulfill their existential crisis online. These are not city people who live in Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt alone. These are people who believe in the country. These are people who are dependable, who are known to stand by their vote, who are known to come out to vote, who are known to make a decision based on what they can feel. So leadership, as far as I'm concerned, is maturity. It is intentional. It is responsibility, and it is preparedness. From what I'm saying, there is a disconnect between the party and those who came principally to that party just to use it as a vehicle to get to Aso Rock. And until that disconnect is fixed, these kind of issues will continue. What has happened here, the flagrant disregard of the provision of the constitution of the Labour Party, and then the treatment of the Labour Party as though it is answerable to the candidates and its cohort. It's totally unheard of, because the party is supreme under any democratic system. And so with what we have seen, the party have reacted and they have responded properly, to this, because this is where it starts from. And if they don't take actions now, it will get worse as they proceed. And they need to prove to Nigerians that they are actually ready, to be counted amongst the party who are seen as a legacy political party in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. But right now we'll have to go on a quick break, and Newsweek continues in a moment. Welcome back, and it's still Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines in the week. Now let's move to economy. President Muhammadu Buhari has strongly criticized state governors for the institutional corruption in local government system. This, he said, inhibits development at the grassroots. The president said this at the State House, Abuja, during a parley with members of the senior executive courses 44 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuro. Femi Akonde reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari was blunt as he directly blamed state governors for the poor rate of development at the local government level. The president is not happy that the efforts made to strengthen local government administration in the country through an executive order was truncated by judicial processes. Mr. President wants all public office holders to be guided by their conscience. He also promised that the recommendation in the NIPSS report will be implemented.
Money for the salaries will be given and the balance will put in his pocket. This was happening. This is Nigeria. It's a terrible thing. You cannot say the person who was doing that was not educated. He was a qualified lawyer. He was experienced, yet he participated in this type of corruption. So it's a matter of conscience, whichever level we find ourselves, that you need us to sit here with all the sacrifices the country is making by putting you through institutions and getting you ready to lead. The fundamental thing is personal integrity. May God help us.
The report of the Senior Executive Course 44 recommends that for Nigeria to manage most of the challenges currently facing the country, it must strengthen governance at the grassroots and eradicate corruption.
Your resolve to achieve zero tolerance in corruption is a struggle that we as a nation cannot abandon if we must prosper. The national and global support given to your administration is a huge opportunity to be leveraged on.
President Buhari congratulated the members of the Senior Executive Course 44 on the successful completion of their course and promised that his administration will continue to support the activities of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, in a rebuttal, Governor of Rivers State Nyesom Wike has challenged the president to expose governors responsible for stealing local government funds. Governor Wike denied ever taking funds meant for the local government since he assumed office as governor in 2015.
To challenge Mr. President, you're a leader, and we believe as leaders, you must come out and tell Nigerians who are those committing this offense. You said the governors are taking local government funds. I want to say, in the name of Almighty God, I've never touched local government fund one day. I have never, and I have no reason to do that. So, Mr. President, tell us who are those people. You know them, tell us. It is not good to say what we call class defamation. They say governors. Please, I'm not one of those governors. I'm not. So, Mr. President, please spare me. Tell Nigerians that the integrity governors are not part of them. We have integrity. We are not part of them. And do us a favor to announce all those states that are taking local government money. I have never, since 2015 till now, and I have no reason, and I will not have any reason.
Oh, well, let me come to you now, Olufemi. Why do you think the president is just making this complaint few months to leave in the office?
Well, there's nothing strange about what the president has said. It is what we have known, and this has been enabled not only by the tendency of politicians that you find in some of these governors, but because even the Constitution of Nigeria, enables, this corruption that has characterized the administration of local government in Nigeria. That's why we have continued to insist that the Section 162 that has created that joint state and local government account itself is a fraud. And it's very funny that Governor Wike, rather than standing by his claim that between 2015 and now he has not in any way tampered, unfortunately brought in his group of 5 governors that they have integrity. Can Governor Wike tell us that in Oyo, Abia, Benue, where salaries and pensions are not paid, that governors there have not been tampering with local government funds, even in states where these allocations are paid into the local government, some of these governors have to nominate projects, have to nominate consultants to collect revenues and all sort of despicable things for this local government. And these are fundamental things that are visible to the average Nigerian. What President Buhari has said is a street knowledge. It is what is known to everybody. But unfortunately, the president has not also been kind enough to have used the last 7 years to have pushed, it's beyond an executive order, because the constitution that he has sworn to uphold has given an opportunity for the governors to exploit by creating an account jointly run by the state and the local government. If the local government is a chair of government, why can't they get their allocations directly, manage it independently without any interference of the states? But as long as that joint state and local government allocation account continue to exist, governors will continue to, the money will continue to come there. Governors will continue to nominate projects and all sort of frivolous activities that will take this money out of the local government accounts into their purse and the purses of their cronies. And that is why, despite all the huge revenues, allocations given to this state, including the fund from derivation, some states cannot even completely pay salary. In Ondo State today, the last time a civil servant has taken salary should be about September. So the president must do more than this lamentation by ensuring that the needed legal steps are taken to prevent this thing.
All right, Shegun, let me come to you now. Do you agree with Wike that the president should name the culprits?
Beyond throwing tantrums and rhetorics and the rest of them, Mr. President was very clear about what he was saying. What he was hammering on is not about somebody has stolen money and I want to demonize the governor. What he's talking about is, we all understand, it has been on for a while. Mr. President has been very, very consistent. As you know, I'm not in their political party, and I will not say I'm a fan of this administration as such, but the truth be what it is. He has been very firm on local government autonomy right from the beginning. And I recall that in 2017, we contributed, even as an organization, to the passing of that bill of ensuring that local government have their autonomy according to the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. But unfortunately, that bill, after the tenacious work done to bring the Senate and the state together to have one voice on that matter, that particular bill failed at the state level. The states agreed to administrative autonomy of the local government, but they disagreed totally, in fact, almost 100%, on fiscal autonomy of the local government. And this is one of the things that the president has been saying, that the local government should be able to get their allocation on their own, directly, and be able to manage it. But how many local government chairmen across Nigerian states are autonomous? How many of them are acting outside the control of the state governors? So that's exactly what is being addressed here. It's not about pointing fingers to say you took money or you did not take money. How will we know you are doing same? Because a man who shares meat with his teeth, nobody can actually judge that except for God, because nobody knows what you have cut inside. So this is precisely what the president has been hammering on, and this is what he has been saying, that while there is no the control of the local government rights is still under the state, we will not have justice and will not have a local government that actually and truly cares for the people.
All right,
so this is what he's saying. So there's no theatrics about it.
We need to move to our last story for tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, by the way, but we are almost out of time. The federal government has agreed that henceforth the language of instruction at the primary school level shall be in mother tongue. Minister of Education Malam Adamu made this disclosure after Federal Executive Council meeting in Aso Rock, Abuja. While government considers that the implementation would be difficult, mother tongue would be used for the first 6 years of education. The English language would be a combined subject at the junior secondary level. Shagu, this is for you. The mother tongue will be used exclusively for first 6 years of education as the language of instruction in the elementary school. Do you think this is a good idea?
Well, I really don't understand the rationale behind some of these policies. I believe that when policies are made, it's supposed to mirror the society in the here and the now. I'm a firm believer of the preservation of culture, but for us to mandate it and militarize it and make it a forceful venture whereby, it will begin to restructure or impact or negatively, on the parental responsibility of children, I believe that's something that is contrary to what people believe, and it's going to widen the gap between public schools and private schools. Because as it were, I don't believe that in order to preserve culture, we cannot have a system whereby there is a general language that can be used to communicate or to educate our children, and then there will be
all right,
and there will be other
I'm so sorry,
provisions.
we are almost out of time. I just quickly want to get your view, Olufemi. Will this policy in any way help our educational system?
Well, for a country with over 600 local languages, I don't think it is out of place. And I think our language should be one of the exports that we should be proud of as Nigerians today. Our children are taught Chinese, French, even in schools in Lagos. So there's nothing wrong in this policy, and I think what is most important is the government making this an all-encompassing, agenda, not narrowing it, to certain level or access, to education. If we can make it an all-encompassing affair, I think it's a good one for us as a nation, because we cannot completely throw away our languages that are integral part of our culture for foreign languages, that has virtually taken over all our daily lives as Nigerians.
All right, Olufemi Lawson, thank you very much for coming on the show. And as well, Shagu, I will say thank you as well for your contribution.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you as well for being part of the show. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our social media platform at TVC News NG, on our social website at tvcnews.tv. I am Jacinta Obiuku. Until next week, it's goodbye.